Counter-Strike is one of the oldest active esports in the world. And in 11 years, we've gone from this to this. My name is Dupree, I'm a 5-time world champion, and this is the story of Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Smith's looking confused and dazed, and there's going to be a follow-up headshot.
Oh, and another one! Oh, and a third! Oh!
That can't possibly be real.
The Big Apple and Snacks is hungry. You can't win crowning like this!
He is destroyed.
Jumping double broken.
Doesn't even matter to Dupree!
In 2011, the Counter-Strike community was split in two different versions of the game, one being Counter-Strike Source, the other one being 1.6, which dates all the way back to 1999. At the time I was trying to compete in Counter-Strike Source, I would pack all my stuff and put it in the back of the car, and then I would drive somewhere. Valve wanted to create a game that gathered all. And therefore, in 2012, Valve released Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And everyone absolutely hated it. The movement was off, the gameplay was bad, everyone hated it. I'm fairly confident that the majority of Counter-Strike players, not only the professional ones, but also the casual ones, they like things as they were. But suddenly, CSGO is the official Counter-Strike game. And this is where the Majors comes into the picture. Majors is now the new thing. Now everyone wanted to compete for this single title. Without the Majors, I don't think this game would have succeeded the way they did. When we got to hear about the first Major, knowing that you would be the first team that would actually go together and get the crown of this new game, I think that's what everyone chased. And at that point, everything literally exploded. From 2014 to 2016, CSGO blew the charts. Everything just got bigger, the teams got bigger, the prize pools got bigger, the stages, the atmosphere, everything just started getting bigger. And then Valve decided that they wanted to up the prize pool at the Majors to $1 million. It was definitely really crazy. Wherever there's money, that's where people put their interest in. And I also think that's the case with Counter-Strike. We started seeing skins getting more popular. Betting all of a sudden found its way into Counter-Strike. Things started to get a little bit shady. Probably the most iconic situation we've had with gambling scandals was probably the one with iBuyPower, and to this day, it's still something that impacts the game.
And it's very weird to see Steel opting over Skadoodle. The iBuyPower is definitely not playing like iBuyPower.
A bunch of American or North American players decided to match fix a game. That was like the first time we saw a professional team throwing a game to benefit from something, like getting money out of it. They were told by Valve that they could not participate in the majors anymore. And I think that was like the worst thing that could happen to a CSGO player. Like that is like, you can never play the majors again. And it made us realize that we were probably role models for a lot of people. If I would cheat, then the ones that looked out to me were like, nah, maybe I can cheat as well. Peter has done it, so why shouldn't I just also be able to get away with it? That's very flattering in some sense, but also makes you a little bit more cautious in what you do. You could say that the iBuyPower scandal was really bad for the whole CSGO community, but at the same time, it's also helped them to improve. I think it's a really good idea that pro players nowadays are not allowed to bet on anything.
Simple, just jumping casually into the side. He's gonna fall down again. Why is it flat?
We found ourselves in a situation where we could definitely feel that whatever we did as professionals, people were really looking up to us and they wanted to copy what we were doing. Like they really wanted to learn from us. We quickly also understood that the way that we impacted the game was also what Valve were looking at. Like they looked at our games and seeing, okay, the professional players are doing this and this. They are really good at that. We started having meetings with Valve at Majors where they would come to us and we would start discussing what do we actually think is working out for the game. Is this good or is this bad?
Kenny S stuck in the site finding more. That's brilliant.
Kenny S at that time was probably considered a top 3 player in the world. He had this weapon, like he had the AWP and the balance had not kicked in yet. So he was just like really, I wouldn't say he was abusing it because he was just really good at utilizing the way that the weapon functioned at that time. And then Valve decided that it was about time to end that chapter, and they decided to nerf it, which means that they will actually make the weapon worse. Some people claim that this nerf to the AWP was mainly aimed at Kenny S. I don't specifically think that, but I'm pretty confident that Valve would look at the way that he used the weapon and see like this is not the way we want it to be used. So I think that's probably that has always been like a little bit on top of our mind, that we need to be ready for changes, and you cannot cry about changes because they will eventually happen.
How sick is this round for him? And he's looking for the ace, the first ace from anyone on a
From 2017 to 2019, CSGO got a lot more professional, and I was no longer just a gamer. All of a sudden, I found myself as being a professional athlete. You had sponsors you had to oblige to, and you had to use like specific equipment they were giving you. In 2016, we acquired the first CSGO sports psychologist to work with the team, which was my team, Astralis. And at that time, it was a completely new thing. That is probably the first big leap that we took in Astralis to become that big history team. I'm really confident that the way that we worked in Astralis, I'm sure that we have shaped the way that esports, at least in Counter-Strike, is working today.
And Simpleton comes clean off, Flamey to deliver, but 3 points of health, and Astralis have done it!
So in 2017, that was the year that I won my first major.
For the first time, they'll find themselves in a major final.
Make some noise, Atlanta. It's Virtus Pro versus Astralis.
Everything just went so quickly, and all of a sudden, I just remember we had this crazy comeback on train. I remember the last 14-15 round, Glaive said that, guys, let's do the outside rush one more time. And everyone was just like, yeah, let's do it. You know, you could just feel that everyone was so aligned.
And Gabby opens it up.
Getting the kills, one kill, and when you're like, okay, you're getting one kill goes to the victory, one kill goes to the victory.
Towers is there, and Astralis, they win the first major championship, 16-14 against Virtus Pro.
That last kill secured the major for us. We just pulled our headsets off, and I think I started crying, and Danny started crying, and it was just crazy.
To take down Alex, another pushing. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! He takes every single one.
In 2018, I think we reinvented the way to play Counter-Strike. And I think that a lot of people started looking at us and they were like, what are these guys doing so well that we're not? I don't know, it could be all these things like going to the gym together, like eating breakfast together, everyone. And they were just maybe 1 or 2 guys from the team like, why am my team not doing it? I'm confident everyone was thinking that. And we just went on to win tournament after tournament after tournament and winning our second major. And then we started tying up with winning as many majors as Fnatic had done. So we had set out a new goal. Like we wanted this iteration of Astralis to be the greatest team of all time. That was like the main goal. That is the goal that we set when we created the team. It is quite a goal, but if you don't dream big, you will never reach it. Coming into the major in Berlin, our biggest opponent, our biggest like rival, if you could say that, was Team Liquid, a North American team. And Liquid was a hell of a good team. They push us to the limits every time. Without us, I think Liquid would have dominated everything else. So I'm sorry, Liquid. This time around, Liquid was actually the favorite going into this matchup because they had a really good run this summer. Then I remember that we decided that we wanted to pick Vertigo. I just remember the look on, I think it was Lisa's face. I was like, they were like, okay, what the hell is going on that side? And we had something up our sleeve, and that managed to pay off.
Where's the camera?
Give me that one.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, if you've bought tickets to Katowice, if you were hoping to see a wonderful event, had a great time at Spodek, especially for the first time. Spodek's closed. Yeah, sorry.
One of my strongest assets as a player and as a person is my way of going on stage and then feeling at home. And I actually feel like more comfortable going to the stage and wanting to show off what I'm capable of instead of sitting at home. But then 2020 hit and all that unfortunately came to a stop. When COVID struck, people got a lot more time on their hands. It's kind of crazy because it was also the first time that CSGO hit 1 million concurrent players. But overall for me, the whole COVID thing was very negative for me as a player. I've always felt that COVID-19 was the killer of the Astralis team. I think that is like where things came to an end. COVID killed all the tournaments. It killed all the obviously all the spectator events. It killed the whole atmosphere. All of a sudden, it was just this game that was just being played online. I mean, in some sense, we were also lucky because we actually could continue doing what we've always been doing, but it was just in a different way. And it took away that extra segment of joy that it gave me going to another country or meeting all the fans out there, showing off and doing plays in front of people, you know, feeling the crowd and feeling alive and feeling like the thing I'm doing, that's what I love, you know. But as the rest of the world, we also slowly recovered from COVID-19, and suddenly we found ourselves back in the arenas. We found ourselves traveling around the world, meeting people again, you know, getting that feeling back where we felt alive, that we could bring some entertainment to people, going out there and meeting them. So for us, it meant a lot to just come to this place where things started to get back to normal. But there's no standing still in esports. And in 2023, Valve announced the new future of Counter-Strike, CS2. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for CS2. I think it's going to be really great. I strongly believe that this game will be even better than CSGO. When I look back at the first ever CSGO major back in Sweden in 2013, I get very happy with the fact that how far we've come. Like the game has developed and the stages has developed, the fan culture, everything around the game has just gotten so much more professional. And sure, there's still room for improvements, but we've come a long way, and I'm quite certain that we will continue going in that direction, keep making it bigger. And in a couple of years, I strongly believe that we are on par with traditional sports. We're in a really good path. My name is Dupree, and this has been the story of Counter-Strike Global Offensive.